What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley, that's Scott Savage, and you can join us at InsideTheGame.ca, podcast services around the globe. Thanks to our friends at Fired Up Network, our YouTube channel, Inside the Game Official. We're coming to Rad TV starting next week. That's right, our Fast channel is finally going live. You can look for us over there on your PlayStation of all places. Believe it or not, we'll be there. And of course, don't forget those other beautiful TV streaming platforms around the globe like Roku, Amazon Prime, Samsung Plus, Jinx Esports TV, and ESTV. Scott, we got a lot to talk about today. Dude, it's a hot show. What do we got?
We have some Far Cry 7 story details that have come to light.
Whoa.
There's Counter-Strike 2 available now, stealth dropped. Jim Ryan has announced his retirement to the surprise of everybody. And Sega cancels Hyenas to the surprise of us.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So much to talk about, but don't forget, we also have more reviews dropping today and tomorrow, so stick around. Let's get going, Scott. There's lots to talk about. Far Cry 7. Scott, the Far Cry series has been one we followed and played for a very long time, and next up, well, is Far Cry 7, and story details have been outlined. This is Tom Henderson over at Insider Gaming. Insider Gaming has learned new details on Ubisoft's next mainline Far Cry entry following our exclusive report in January. The next game, which we'll refer to as Far Cry 7 and is internally known as Project Blackbird, is scheduled to release in fall of 2025. Scott, we're still 2 years out, man. Not a big deal.
Quite a while.
Yeah.
These Far Cry games are big now. They have to put a whole lot of collectibles on the map.
yeah, exactly. The game will be
Ubisoft, Greg.
Dude, the game will be developed by Ubisoft Montreal, and they're moving away from the Dunia engine and going to the Snowdrop. Snowdrop is where Massive's been using their stuff lately, right? A lot of Snowdrop going on, and Snowdrop's a pretty solid engine. I can't really complain about that when it comes to what we're getting into with the Division and such. An alleged leak of Far Cry 7 surfaced earlier this year, suggesting the game will be dubbed Far Cry Rise and will take place of the fictitious tropical island called Kimzan. Dude, another tropical island. Does this get a little thin for you when it comes to more Far Cry?
Yeah, I really missed out on Far Cry 6. It just didn't land with me at all.
Yeah,
and I think
too.
part of that did have to do with the environment, just because I feel like we've seen it over and over again. Middle America was really cool, and I liked that contrast.
Yeah. Again, the Far Cry 3 is probably still my staple when it comes to the Far Cry series. So 6, we played it, we reviewed it last time. It had a good time. Dude, it's a solid game. It's a fantastic game. It's just like, oh man, it's just more Far Cry. But
I think it's fatigue, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Number five in America with the religious zealots and cultish things. That was really cool. I liked how that twisted it.
Dude, New Dawn, I enjoyed the New Dawn after, like, that was like 2 years or a year after 5.
I didn't get to play that one.
Dude, New Dawn was cool. I really liked New Dawn. But either way, it was, so this will be taking place near the Yellow Sea next to Korea, it's told. Insider Gaming was told by his sources that this leak is entirely inaccurate. So, we won't be diving into more pieces of information from that rumor. Speaking with other sources, though, it's understood that the next entry to the series will be a non-linear story, with the story being centered around rescuing the player's kidnapped family. It was said that the game's plot revolves around a wealthy family that has been kidnapped by a conspiracy group currently called Sons of Truth. While exact finite details are subject to change due to the game's stage of development, it was said that the premise of the campaign is for the player to rescue their entire family within a specific time frame. Currently, the current in-game timer stands at 72 hours or 24 hours in real time, but the timer can be paused when the player enters one of their safe houses, it was said. Far Cry 7's non-linear story means the family members do not need to be rescued in order, and some family members can be killed. Dude, I don't like my dad. You're done. I don't care. I'm moving on to the next one. Like, really, you're gonna do one of those things? I don't know, man. That's weird. Oh, we'll see.
That could be brutal. You have the choice.
Oh,
I only have a few hours. One of you is all the way north.
It's like playing The Walking Dead, right? One's gonna live, one's gonna die. Like, forget it. I don't like you. You're gone. And that's you.
That reminds me of Unsighted is a game we had, must have been a few years ago now, for review. I think that was Steve and I, and it had a similar thing where you only have so many resources. Not everybody's gonna make it.
Exactly. We've seen a lot of those games, and I appreciate that, right? The consequences of the experience have an impact, and I always love that kind of detail. But while these details are still a little murky, it's understood that the goal is to take down the Sons of Truth, and in order to complete the games 100%, you'll need to rescue all of your family members safely. To find your family members, it was said that Far Cry 7 introduces a new interrogation mechanic to the game, which doesn't necessarily mean you'll get the information you need from the enemy. Sometimes the enemy will give up the information, sometimes they'll lie, stay quiet, or even sometimes escape, it was said. Ubisoft has been sporadic on their game announcements as of late, with the likes of The Division 3 just being randomly announced, which was weird. But Scott, where's your hopes then for this? What does this interrogation system do? It's nice to see a change of pace, isn't it?
It is, yeah. That sounds quite dark for a Far Cry game. I'm used to being knocked out and captive, waking up somewhere else. That happens too many times.
Yeah.
But I like the idea. The Sons of Truth sounds like it's an arc back to Far Cry 5.
Yeah.
Which is my favorite. Has to be. But I'm wondering if this conspiracy group, if we're going into America, this is conspiracy group. We're getting into some scary political mirroring of Earth right now. And I'm not sure if I like that.
No, but I do appreciate the fact that they are shaking things up, right? We were just talking about how Far Cry has felt so samey lately. It's just like, man, Far Cry 6, again, just another Far Cry game, right? You're just joining the rebels, away you go out, take down the big guy, and that's kind of it. Here, non-linear story, go save who you want to save. Here's my thing then, what family members come with perks? Like, who do I prioritize over saving somebody else in the family, right? I mean, my mom has explosives tech kind of thing, right? Where my brother is a little bit more stealthy. Do they team up with me? Do they become part of my crew now? And then we roll out like that together? Because co-op is an option as well within the game, usually for Far Cry. Do they carry that over? Do we bring in an AI buddy? Like, where is all this kind of lie, right? All of a sudden you rescue dad, and dad's the tech guy. He's the gear guy. You go to him and he makes all your gear kind of thing. But yet if you didn't help your mom in time, she's dead and now you don't get that perk, right? There's a lot of questions, obviously. But 2 years out, I would suspect we start seeing something next year on this.
I was thinking, yeah, maybe 1 year's time.
Yeah,
start seeing little trailers, teasers, nothing concrete, but that'd be really nice to see.
The interrogation system I thought was a pretty cool mechanic. Again, something else that's being fresh and brought over to Far Cry, which I think is definitely a welcomed introduction. This kind of reminds me of LA Noire.
Oh, that's exactly what I was thinking, actually. Was
right?
Press X to doubt.
Yeah, so here we go. They can even escape. Can we just kill them then? You're going to run away on me? Can I just shoot you? I don't know. So here we have to go. They kidnapped our family, but now we got to go kidnap the Sons of Truth. Like, this is going to be... I'm excited. Now reading through this, like, the potential and opportunity. What do you think, though, of the clock mechanic?
Oh, I think I like that. It gives me the... I think I have somewhat of a complex that happened because of Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
Having that 3-day countdown. So for it to be that same kind of thing, it ups the stress, but it makes you have to really move in desperation. And that makes for good gameplay.
Did you ever play 12 minutes?
I did, and I didn't get far enough in it.
Dude, because you got 12 minutes. Yo, that was kind of... I'm like, no, please don't do that to me. That's what I don't want. I get 24-hour real... I'm like, cool, so really, we wrap this up in 24 hours or less? I can appreciate that, because so many games these days are over 100, 200 hours. So if we get into something a little bit more tight, I can be down for that. Or whatever. Can we expand that, or do we just lose once it hits the 24-hour or in-game as the 72-hour clock hits, right? Then what happens? All of our families been murdered and we lose the game. Dude, can you actually lose the game? That's another aspect we can take too, right? And then you don't often see in games, you don't often just go game over. You game over, you just respawn and play again. So I don't know. Very cool though, dude. I hope for this.
I hope there is a bad ending included and it gets sad and thoughtful, because I like that impact. I like that emotional impact in these games now.
Dude, what if...
happen very often.
So Far Cry is known for some of the quirky intros, right? Where you can roll credits right at the beginning of the game. What if we just abandon our family and walk away? And then the credits start rolling.
You get on an airplane and go to another state.
Just like, forget it. I'm out. You guys can have them. I'm out of here. Yo, Far Cry 7 though sounds pretty cool. Nice to see a change of pace.
But our paradise comes at a cost. This surrender.
Scott, in a massive stealth drop yesterday, Valve has officially released Counter-Strike 2. I kid you not. Just like that. It was like, boom, there it is. I was like, I received an email. I'm like, whoa, what? This is out after 20 years? Wow, here we go. Tom Ivan over at BGC had this to say. The game arrives as a successor to Counter-Strike Global Offensive, allowing players to bring across their inventory from the older game. The free-to-play title, which Valve bills as, quote, the largest technical leap forward in Counter-Strike history, end quote, had been available to some Counter-Strike Global Offensive players since March as part of a limited technical test. Announcing the game earlier this year, Valve said it will be cleaner, brighter, and better looking. Maps in Counter-Strike 2 are receiving upgrades and overhauls, which leverage all of the new Source 2 tools and rendering features. It also claimed tick rate no longer matters for moving, shooting, or throwing. Sub-tick updates are the heart of Counter-Strike 2. Dude, I've never been into Counter-Strike at all. Have you ever played it?
I have some very short memories of being probably about 10 years old and team killing on Counter-Strike. Here's my confession. It's been burning me for 20 years.
Previously, the server only evaluated the world to discrete time intervals called ticks. Thanks to Counter-Strike 2's sub-tick update architecture, servers know the exact instant the motion starts, a shot is fired, or a nade is thrown. As a result, regardless of the tick rate, your moving and shooting will be equally responsive and your grenades will always land the same way. Valve said smoke grenades are now dynamic, volumetric objects that interact with the environment and react to lighting, gunfire, and explosions. Counter-Strike 2 sounds have been reworked for a better reflect in physical environments, be more distinct, and express more game state. It added, they also have been rebalanced and are for a more comfortable listening experience. As of right now, Scott, as of yesterday, as the game dropped, their player count skyrocketed to 1.8 million players. So,
oh, that's a lot of uptake day one, of course. There's a huge amount of people that play Counter-Strike.
Everybody's on it. I'm not on it because, dude, Counter-Strike is just at a whole other level. And I'm not a big mouse to key kind of guy.
Oh,
so
I'm remembering your testing the water with Valorant, and that went really brutally.
Oh yeah, well yeah, I got nailed in there with one of the esports guys. So I was like, you gotta be kidding me! Like nope, get me out of here.
That was set up for failure. I'm wondering how much we'll see. Will we see Valorant numbers dwindle because of this? Will it be kind of a new expression of this kind of game type? I'm wondering if it'll bring more popularity to the subgenre just because of this massive update.
Yeah, no, it's been long overdue, right? It's been 20 years since Counter-Strike's really seen this update kind of take it to the next level where we are now with Counter-Strike 2. I think it's a good thing for the industry. I think it's a good thing for Valve and for its player base to keep this game moving forward. And we'll see how much longer this goes, dude, but as it's been 20 years for Counter-Strike 1, which is pretty cool to say, hey, our game is still going today just as strong, which has probably actually been stronger since, and it's just incredible. And when you go to the esports side of it all, Counter-Strike is right there at the top. It's always on this kind of on the board. It's on the discussion, right? So high level play, man, that's for sure.
I've seen some insane plays from Counter-Strike tournaments and absolutely ridiculous things. Everybody standing on each other's shoulders so a sniper can shoot over the wall.
Wow.
I forget the name of the players that did that one, but it was incredible.
That's hilarious, man. Yeah, let us know over on Twitter at the official ITG. Have you checked out Counter-Strike 2? Scott, Jim Ryan is retiring from the world of PlayStation. Let's get into this. Sony Group Corporation and Sony Interactive Entertainment today announced that the SIE president and CEO, Jim Ryan, has made the decision to retire in March 2024 after almost 30 years with the PlayStation business. To support Mr. Ryan in his transition, Sony Group Corporation President, COO, and CFO Hiroki Totoki will assume the role of chairman of SIE effective October 2023. Dude, just next month. So that's where that's heading, right? Jim had this to say. After 30 years, I've made the decision to retire from SIE in March of 2024, I've relished the opportunity to have a job I love in a very special company working with great people and incredible partners, but I found it increasingly difficult to reconcile living in Europe and working in North America. I will leave having been privileged to work on products that have touched millions of lives across the world. PlayStation will always be a part of my life, and I feel more optimistic than ever about the future of SIE. I want to thank Yoshida-san for placing so much trust in me and being an incredible, sensitive, and supportive leader. A comment from Hiroki Totoki. He had this to say: I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to Jim Ryan for his outstanding achievements and contributions over his 30-year career at Sony, including the great success of launching the PlayStation 5. The PlayStation business managed by SIE is an essential part of Sony Group's entire business portfolio. I will work with Jim and the senior management team closely to ensure our continued success and further growth. I am also looking forward to creating the exciting future of PlayStation and the game industry together with everyone at SIE and its business partners. Scott, 30 years, man. Jim Ryan. I didn't realize he'd been around that long because he's only taken over PlayStation not too long ago, right? And
yeah,
we talked about how we're looking for that face still to be in PlayStation, and we still don't really have that face. Jim Ryan comes out and does the big press conferences to have a presence. And I wonder if Hiroki Totoki's going to take over that. Because right now we have Sean Benson coming over for State of Play. So
at least in the interim, I believe it is Hiroki Totoki for now that will step into that place. But I'm just trying to think of, it sounds like everything is amicable. Everybody's happy about this on the inside, which is very important. After 30 years, you want to leave a good lasting impression, of course. That is your legacy now. But I see a lot of mixed reaction online already about this. Some people are taking this to be a console war victory in some regard. It has absolutely nothing to do with that.
Really?
It's silly people, bad actors trying to take this to be ammunition in a fight that's in their head only. And that part is disappointing because in my opinion, I suppose I can only leave it at that, is that Jim Ryan has very recently said some kind of silly things.
Oh yeah.
But over the course of 30 years, he's been instrumental for PlayStation, especially since the PlayStation 4 era, we'll say.
From the business standpoint, I think Jim's done really well, right? As far as PlayStation is concerned, I think everything he's done has been incredible. Granted, right? Not everybody has the wittiest things to say at the time of some of this, the whole FTC battle with Microsoft, right? That's what we're kind of talking about here. But on the other side of it, though, he makes the good point of, but I've found it increasingly difficult to reconcile living in Europe and working in North America. That's a challenge, right? That's a huge challenge. But after 30 years, good on him. Congrats, hats off to Jim Ryan. We wish him all the best. It's exciting for him to see where he does in his next chapter. Will he follow in like the Reggie Fils-Aimé and just kind of be off into other different areas now? Because Reggie, so well known over on Nintendo, has then been able to branch out. He even wrote a book at one point, right? And just been kind of bouncing around here or there. So I don't know. We'll see if Jim Ryan sticks around or what he does. But yeah, for now, sounds like he's retiring permanently. So good on him, and best of wishes.
Well, sounds like a good end to a good run.
Sure does. Scott, Sega cancels Hyenas and several unannounced projects. Tom Henderson over at Insider Gaming said this: Sega has announced that it has canceled Creative Assembly's Hyenas, in addition to several unannounced projects. Quote, in response to the deterioration in profitability in the Europe region, we will review the title portfolio developed at each European site and discontinue Hyenas and some unannounced titles in development. In line with this, we will implement a write-down of work in progress process for the title. Quote, the company said that resulting cancellations will likely result in staff reductions across Sega's studios, including Creative Assembly. Scott, what a rough year. We talk about how good the year's been for gaming, but how a rough year it's been for developers. Here we go again, right? More layoffs coming. I think Sega, dude, when's somebody just gonna buy Sega?
Oh, I've wondered that myself, actually. It comes up as a joke because of the acquisitions that Xbox does, but is it really that much of a joke?
Oh, it makes you wonder, right? The company said, quote, we will reduce various fixed costs at multiple group companies in the region, centered on the Creative Assembly. Man, that sucks. We expect to incur one-time costs related to fixed cost reductions. Hyenas was described as a hero-based multiplayer extraction shooter and was very late in development. Dude, I thought like we were in beta testing here. Like we were getting close to seeing the release of this, and then they just scrapped it. What went wrong there? And again, this is kind of where I go over to Naughty Dog too with their factions multiplayer and going, I wonder if we're getting scrapped over there too. I don't think we'll get into layoffs per se, but I think we'll definitely, there is an opportunity where we might never see that game. Like that game might not see the day. But here we go. Hyenas, Creative Assembly, a well-known developer, getting hit with the cancellation out of Sega. Oh man, games are tough, right?
I was much more confident we would see Hyenas
me
than
too.
we would factions.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I still feel that way.
Insider Gaming exclusively reported on several stories on the game, including the game's character list and new game modes. Earlier in the year, Insider Gaming also reported that Hyenas received mixed responses from playtesters. Hyenas was intended to be released later in 2023 for the Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and PC. Dude, it's going everywhere. Probably going to be one of those free-to-play titles, and we'll see if it lives or dies. And, well, it sounds like it died before it even got out the gate.
Yeah, I think I signed up for one of the closed beta tests, but I didn't get in, and that was it. I thought it was so close to release. I remember seeing promotional material for it and all these characters floating around in a space station, I think, and it looked interesting. But how do you compete with the likes of other extraction shooters? This is a very crowded market, and Marathon is coming.
Well, Marathon, what's the other one from Jade Raymond over at Haven Studios? I'm going blank on her game right now too.
This is Fair Games?
That's it. Thank you. Yeah, Fair Games is there as well. And you're going, what is this one? But again, for both of those trailers, dude, they're just cinematic trailers that showed us absolutely nothing. Hyenas showed us concept, right? Hyenas showed us what we'll be doing. But again, like you say, extraction shooter, a hot genre right now that everybody wants a piece of the pie. Yo, anybody just, y'all remember Vigor? That's an extraction shooter. That is a solid extraction shooter, and that game is fun. But then we've seen others cancel. Scott, what's the one that you had a blast playing? They scrapped that one too.
Scavengers.
There you go.
Scavengers did not last.
Same deal, right? Like man, games are tough to make. When playtesters are getting mixed responses, maybe Sega was like, yo, let's just cancel it while we can before we get too deep. We're already in far enough. We'll just cut our losses, move on. But unfortunately, by cutting the loss over at Creative Assembly, we're also cutting out developers. Again, our hearts will go out to them, and that sucks. But man, I don't know what to do in this case, right? We see so much of that this year, Scott. It's been a rough year for developers. I'm hoping the industry can fix itself. Embracer Group isn't helping anybody, though.
No. And Europe being not as profitable, I think that's representative of the whole of Earth, basically. Everybody's heading into this economic times, and the first thing that goes is leisure spending. The video games you can't buy when you're worried about other things. So I think that's something we're just seeing the start of. Yeah. Or perhaps we've seen it over the course of a couple months now.
We'll see what happens. But Sega's just been a weird company to follow over the last few years too. So I don't know. Curious to see what happens next out of Sega. And that'll wrap up today's show, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us. This has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news each and every day. We'll be back again tomorrow. I'm Drew. That's Scott.
We'll see you inside the game.